people figure out life and grow religiously and in the affairs of life. So let us take this a step back and say, if let's say you have a problem, or you need help with something, advice on something in your life, and you ask someone to give you that advice, or if indeed there is a problem in you, you might not have known about it, and someone came to give you advice on that mistake you've made, how would you like it to be given to you? Give me all the conditions, all the etiquettes that you wish this other person to behave with when giving you that advice. What would they be? What is the most important? You just by the way, guys, you said it when you described the problems with advice. So let's put it in the positive now, and think about all these things, and asking Allah that we become among those who can give advice that way, that we remind others about what it means to give nasiha. What is the most important thing you need to look for?
They're knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable about what they're talking about. Jazakallah, excellent. I hope they're not ignorant when they tell me about what major to major in, or what to do with my children. If somebody has never raised children, you're going to seek advice for them on raising children? Don't go there. I'm telling you, don't go there. Or marriage, if they've never married, or maybe they've had many broken marriages, and all they have is experiences of broken marriages, and they're going to advise you. You know how much I've seen this? Where people have had negative experiences, and that colors their perspectives on life, and they start giving people who are married advice on marriage, and it's all negative. Say, I'll never forget when I married. Some people will come and ask, like, how is it? I'm like, how did that go on? They're like, it's a matter of time. I'm like, what kind of thing do you? How is it that someone would go to somebody and say it's just a matter of time before it becomes negative, right? Because they have had negative experiences. Allah knows what's in the heart of people when they share with you or inform you or advise you. But yeah, you need to be careful. So knowledge is a very important thing. You would hope that they have knowledge, that they are not ignorant. What else? Sincerity. Like, this is more than anything else. What I would wish for when that person comes to give me advice is that really they care for me. I'm going to use the word care. Sincerity here implies much more than just like, good thoughts. It means compassion and care for me. They really want me to get better. Right? It's not a matter of something, again, to check off of a list because I fulfilled my duties. I gave you advice, right? No. You really want the best for me. And I want the best for you, so I give you advice. Right? So, sincerity, and by the way, if it's not, then you're cheating. Remember that. Sincerity, care, knowledge, what else? Well, when we heard of the example of hypocrisy, you mentioned that they themselves were not doing that thing, right? That they advised you on. You would hope that what? They're doing what they're asking you to do, right? They themselves are good examples of it. That's a little bit. It's more than just knowledge. They themselves are good examples. You don't advise me on something and you yourself are violating it left and right. Make sense? What else comes to mind?
Could it be empathy too?
Jazakallah khair. This is very powerful. Empathy means what? What is empathy? What is the definition of empathy in simple terms?
Feel for someone.
To feel with another. Empathy is to feel with another. It's one of the greatest gifts that Allah can give you. And one of the worst things that can happen for a human being is not to have empathy. That's what makes you human. It's such a tragic thing that, again, we don't emphasize empathy in our learning. All your relationships, they will not be real. You're not going to have real relationships with anybody if you don't have empathy for people around you. And if they don't have empathy towards you, it's the thing that creates the greatest growth in our lives. It's for us to become empathetic. If you ask me, Brother Tarif, what is the one thing I should work on to turn my life around and make my relationships flourish? I say work on your empathy. It's hard, it's not easy. Practicing empathy is the hardest thing. And I want to tell you something. Social media destroys your sense of empathy. You know why? Here's what happened. People are hooked on social media. They've done research on this. They're so hooked on not just on social media, just internet in general. Our brains are not wired to keep looking at screens. They're wired to look at real faces. And when I look at your faces, I can pick up cues, emotional cues. My brain has wiring to make me able to pick up on your cues, decode them, and feel with you. There's something called mirror neurons. Mirror neurons assume that you're in front of me. My neurons will mirror your emotional disposition. If I see you sad, it'll trigger the mirror neurons in my head, but I need to see your face. Make sense? If this thing gets untrained, and all we do is look at screens and not real human beings, replace real physical interactions with artificial interactions on the internet, it destroys that circuitry. It doesn't train it. So that's why, I'm not sure if you see this, but a lot of people lack empathy. A lot of Muslims lack empathy. It's not there. We're losing our humanity. We can't wait to just put people down. We don't feel their pain. You know very well the power of empathy. Do you recall the last time when somebody came and just shed a tear for you because you were in tears? Right? Who felt your pain? And do you remember the power of this? They just hugged you or subhanAllah lifted you in that moment, and you could see their care for you in that moment. They let everything go and they just shared that moment with you. How powerful was that? Who remembers? Just raise your hand. I mean, I know myself, like, subhanAllah, when somebody did that with me, like, wow, that was the most powerful thing. Do you remember? Seriously. How about the opposite? When you're looking for someone to connect with your pain, and you have, like, it's in your heart, and that person was the coldest, as cold as they can be, never feeling a thing that you felt. How did that feel? The worst thing ever, right? The worst thing ever. I was just talking to a person yesterday, a student, I mean, broke down in tears, brothers and sisters. Because the thing was, that they said was that people don't feel me. Like, they don't feel my pain. They don't appreciate what I have. SubhanAllah, I'm like, wow. Like, to get to a point in our lives when we don't feel others is devastating. That's something we need to cultivate. We need to practice. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, his entire nasiha, when I say da'wah here, I mean nasiha. Or when I say nasiha, I mean da'wah. They're interchangeable for me here. How did he invite others? What was motivating him? Care for them. Nasiha. Utmost care. But you know what his care was informed by? His sense of their pain. He felt them. That's why, by the way, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he encouraged us to take care of orphans. Did he know what it meant to be an orphan? Or no? He did or didn't? He did. Why? Because he was what? An orphan himself. He felt the pain of an orphan. That's the best thing. That's empathy. So empathy is to really feel with another. He felt with the orphans. He himself was an orphan. So if we don't connect with people's experiences, go to where they are. Like, we can talk about poor neighborhoods, but we never go to a poor neighborhood, we'll never feel their pain. Make sense? You'll never feel their pain. It's not like someone in their midst, or who goes there and feels what they're feeling and then talks about the subject. Somebody who's never been hungry will never understand hunger. It doesn't matter what you say. That's why you go and fast. Maybe you'll feel the pangs of pain, the pain of hunger. So on and so forth. That's empathy. I'm here to tell you, brothers and sisters, all the work we do to attain knowledge doesn't compare, wallahi, to just attainment of this powerful emotion of empathy. Because our faith, all of knowledge in Islam, is about building your mind and your heart, getting you closer to Allah, but cultivating the best heart that you can have, that can feel. You cannot act with compassion if you don't feel. So nasiha, brothers and sisters, you would hope when somebody comes to give you nasiha, they know you, right? And they care for you. And they have empathy, they understand where you're coming from. I'm not talking about trivial matters. Like, as I said, I might need nasiha on just something, a question, right? You answer the question. I'm talking about real situations of life, right? So, Jazakallah khair on empathy and connected to this and understanding your situation. Now, how often does it happen that when we see someone needing advice or counsel, or we feel that they need to hear our advice, we go to them, but they, maybe the situation is complex. Maybe we saw that human being. Let's say they broke a relationship with a friend, and we kind of get bothered by this, and we go say, hey, how come you've done this? And they might start explaining their side of the story, and you're like, no, you should never do this. You could never yell. You could never break a relationship. How come you raise your voice? Right? I'm giving you a nasiha right now. You should never raise your voice. But this person is trying to do what with you? Explain their side. You never understood the situation, right? You just saw a snippet of it, but you judged it. All I saw was you getting angry. You're yelling, right? And here you're trying to explain your side of things, so you're hopeful. What do you hope here? That I would just sit and what? Listen to you. Understand your circumstances. Maybe after you hear my side of the story, you'll change your mind. I can't tell you. I made this mistake so many times in my life. Like, I can't count them. I keep doing it. I jump on a thing, right? In my head, I assume that, oh, look at that behavior. That is not right. And if I were to know their situation, and it has always happened that they come to me and explain their side of things, I'm like, oh shoot, how foolish I was. They actually had good intentions, right? And if I were just patient with it, I would have known that they didn't mean what they've done. SubhanAllah, they meant good. But we were hasty. So how about listening? How about giving? That's what the Prophet ﷺ says, give excuses to people. Don't assume the worst about them. Assume the best about them. Give them 70 excuses. Now this is, SubhanAllah, again, something we don't observe. We don't give people excuses. We just jump on them, right? We assume the worst about each other, and that is violation of nasiha. Understand people's circumstances. Understand it. Maybe it's a rumor about them. Maybe it's not true. Maybe what they've done for legitimate reasons. Maybe it is for good. Right? Somehow, does that make sense? What else? What else would you hope that a person has? Let's say they're knowledgeable, they're sincere, they understand your situation. I give you time to explain your side of things, and when you're done, I start giving you nasiha. I'm like, like a stinging bee. So I heard you, I get you. And I'm like, strikes. What does that do to you? I'm harsh. Right? I'm knowledgeable. I did it in private. I understood your situation. True. I observed all of the above. I'm not hypocritical. I actually, I have sincere intentions, but I just unleash them. What does that do to you? Think of the last time somebody yelled at you or was harsh with you and they gave you nasiha. Did that really, mashallah, say, wow, that was incredible. I can't wait to correct that thing in my life, right? What does it do to you? It just kind of demoralizes you, discourages. No one wants others to be harsh with them. So what's a prerequisite, a requirement for nasiha?
Wisdom.
Exactly, wisdom and gentleness. So the Prophet ﷺ says gentleness. So we spoke of empathy, we spoke of understanding others and gentleness. The Prophet ﷺ says, الرفق, it's called rifq, gentleness. ما كان في شيء إلا, ما نزع من شيء إلا شانه. If it's removed from something, it will completely make it like awful, right? And whenever it is introduced into something, إلا زانه, like ما وضع في شيء إلا زانه, like if it's present in something, in any affair, it'll beautify it, it'll adorn it. And if it's plucked away or taken away from something, it'll make it ugly. Plain and simple, it's a rule. So being harsh is frowned upon Islamically. We cannot be harsh. No matter what the circumstance, we cannot be harsh. And by the way, it's not to confuse harshness with firmness. Firmness is important. In many situations in our lives, we need to be very firm, but not harsh, right? Harshness is unacceptable. So one of the best ways to open people's hearts to advice is to be gentle. So I want to ask you here a question. When you give advice, what's the objective? To get the person to do what? Grow, right? Become better. So if I'm going to give you advice and it's all like, it's all harsh, what does that do to you? It's gonna close your heart. You're not gonna accept what I'm saying. Make sense? So subhanAllah, it's common sense. So gentleness. What else? Anything else? Well, you said wisdom, but what do you guys think of wisdom? Examples of that? Choosing, again, best time, best place. Maybe part of wisdom is saying, I'm not the person to give the advice. Maybe I need to go find someone to tell them, right? Like find someone who's more knowledgeable. Maybe find someone who knows that individual better than me and get them to go help that person out. So part of wisdom in giving advice is understanding your own limitations and abilities. Not to misjudge yourself, right? Because Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Quran, "Id'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal maw'izati al hasana." Call to Allah Azza wa Jalla with wisdom and kind good words. That's what you should do. Plain and simple. You need to be wise about it. What if I don't have wisdom? Then you should just don't mess with the subject. Sometimes it is best not to say anything or do anything. So it depends on the situation. Sometimes it is best, before you dispense advice, part of wisdom is to consult with others. What do you think? I don't know Abdullah. What do you think? If I go to him, would he accept? Ask others. I swear to you, it has happened so many times with me before. I'll go ask about a person, they tell me, it's like, yeah, don't go to him. It'll backfire big time. And sometimes you find out that this person is very receptive if you just go to them and have a conversation and counsel them.